because I know DJ, it's a short video, but I'm gonna have when DJ or Professor come up in here tonight, I may let them go ahead and play the actual video as well too. Shout out to my people that's coming on over there on YouTube. I see Professor is up in the house right now as well too. So Professor, I'm sending you a co-host invite. To all my people coming on YouTube, guys, make sure you share out tonight's program. Share out tonight's program to all your social media platforms as well too. And the title of the space, Fat Joe and his house nigga mentality comment for Puerto Ricans. Of course, it's a little bit different on YouTube. YouTube it may say Fat Joe says Puerto Ricans who vote for Trump have a house nigga mentality. That's what it is. I see we got DJ coming up in here as well too. So let me send him the co-host invite as well too. Y'all make sure y'all tweet it out. Professor, what's going on? Can you hear me all right, Professor?
I can hear you just fine. And I got your text message. I'm trying to get ready to load that video up.
Okay, so yeah, DJ, I sent you the co-host invite. So whenever you get, okay, I see you up here now too as well too. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to all you guys coming up in here. I see Miss Stephanie down at the bottom as well too. Stephanie, I know you're from the New York area, and I got a couple of our people up in here from the tri-state area. DJ, Stephanie, and there may be a few of you other people up in here as well too. And I'm sure more of you guys will come up here as well too. I'm sure more of you guys will come up here as well too. DJ, what's up? Can you hear me? Okay. DJ may not quite be in the space yet, but he's up here as a co-host, so I'm sure he can. I'm
up there. My check 1 2 1 2. I have to turn that TV down for a minute. What's up, family? Shout out to the Newstoter By.
All right. I see Black Pressure down there. Professor, do you have that video ready, or you need time to get it ready? Professor might be looking for it. We'll come back to Professor. What's up, Pressure? I see you in there. I sent you the text letting you know tonight as well too. So, Professor, can you hear me? Is Professor in the Matrix? Okay, DJ, go ahead, because Professor might be in the Matrix.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to wait to play the video, because I definitely want to say something about Fat Joe. You know what I mean?
We can
shout out to the room. Don't share the room. You know what I mean?
No, we can go ahead and we can play it now and get it started or whatever. Because I mean, I'm sure that there's other people that want to speak on it as well too. So I mean, we can. I think Professor was looking for, but I don't know, Professor. I don't know if he's in the Matrix or not. I hit him up, but go ahead, DJ. When you get that video, let me know whenever you're ready, and we can go ahead and we can real quick we can play it. It ain't nothing about 2.5 minutes, so it's not even a long little clip of what he said in that 2.5 minutes. I thought was noteworthy tonight to go ahead and form a space as well too. Like I said, this guy is still constantly getting the pass. He is still getting the pass, and even when he said what he said, you got a black host up there, and this guy didn't blink at all. He didn't say, "Hey, you know what? I don't agree with what you just said. I find that offensive." He just sat up there and he smiled and he chuckled and he went right along with him. Like Fat Joe's like, "Hey, y'all ain't been checking me for the past 30 some odd years, and probably most of his life. A lot of the black folks up there in the Bronx haven't checked him, and his ego is just." Inflated over the years to the point that he feels like, hey, he can say whatever he wants to. I had to let a couple people know in these comments as well too. They sitting up here talking about, well, we don't you know Puerto Ricans are black? And they're like, wait a minute, hold on. I done met all kind of Puerto Ricans in my life, and the vast majority of Puerto Ricans did not identify as black. And let's say that a number of them do identify as black. Fat Joe ain't identified as no black Puerto Rican. Fat Joe is a white Latino. Now we sitting up in I had some idiot up here trying to tell me that, he couldn't deflate, couldn't get away from the argument that, Fat Joe's a white Latino. Then this fool started sitting up here talking about, well, even though his skin might be white, he still has African roots. And I just said, okay, this idiot here, I wasn't going to go back and forth with him. I just blocked him. Once you've already been debunked and you sit up here and you're going to constantly keep lying, it was a few Pan-Africans as well too that sat up here just making up idiotic crap, sitting up here saying that black people ain't the only ones who were enslaved in this country. Black people weren't the only ones who went through Jim Crow. So I say, you know what? Go ahead and post me this evidence that black people weren't the only ones enslaved in the U.S. Then this idiot's got the nerve to say, well, you said America. You know damn well that there's only one country in the world that people call America, and that's the USA. Don't sit up here and talk about the Americas are America, because that's nonsense. The Americas are not America. South America, Brazil, Argentina, none of those countries in Latin America are considered the United States of America. Or people, when somebody says, you know, I'm going to America, nobody says, okay, well, you going to Brazil? You going to Argentina? Don't sit up here and make up lies, dude. You know damn well that's not the case. DJ, let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm here. I'll say the same thing, you know, and reiterate what you just pretty much implied. No one gave him a pass except Negroes up in the Bronx. You know what I mean? And
hold on, I think Professor, let me, because you sound a little mumbled. Professor, your mic muted? Okay. Yeah, okay. Now try now, because okay, go ahead, because I heard some feedback, but go ahead.
I'm actually my phone probably acting janky.
Yeah, your phone. Yeah, it is your phone. It's janky. Yep. We might have to come right back to you, DJ, because your phone is a little janky there. Yeah. But we'll come back to you. But yeah, this idiot sitting up here and what's that?
Drop.
All right, let me drop you real quick. The people said on YouTube the callers audio is very low. We can't control that. We can't. This is just from people's phones, so we can't hear. I can't actually control the actual audio of any speakers or co-host guys. That's their phone. The Twitter Spaces go off of people's phones and stuff like that. So I can't. Only thing I can tell our people is to not have on a headset, earbuds, anything like that, and put their volume up as high as possible. Professor, do you have the actual? Do you have the video now?
Yeah, I got the video. I'm just trying to see if I can get the sound up. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so the sound not quite ready.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be loud enough for everybody to hear. Can you hear that?
I can't hear anything.
Okay.
Keep working with it. While you're working with it, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read some of these comments.
Okay.
Keep an eye out for DJ too. I had to drop him, so if he comes back up as a speaker, keep an eye and bring him up as a speaker, because I'm gonna click on the actual and read some of these comments here.
All right, let me hold on. Can you hear that?
No, I can't hear anything.
Okay. Let me keep working on the sound.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything. But let me go ahead. I want to read some of the comments, and I may have to. We talking about Black Joe and my girl Rerod. She said he loves insulting Black Americans even to their faces. We have said over and over not to use that word around us, and they refuse to accept it. Do set there unfazed, like it was cute, but some Black Americans don't mind being called that. Clearly, she's talking about the actual interviewer that set up there. And I'm like, yeah, Black dude set up there like a punk. From Tiffany with Love, she says, at Fat Joe, stop with the disrespect. This guy Chucky said he's been doing it for years. Oh, and Chucky is one of these sweet dudes as well, too. This joke tell Chucky he's been doing it for years. No pressure's been applied ever. Hold your lifelong L. Yeah, this guy was he was on the sweet side, so I had to go ahead and he was trying to hit on the guy. I had to go ahead and drop him. I had to go ahead and block this dude because he was saying some crazy stuff that I had to just go ahead and drop this dude. Miss I Have Questions says we have stopped using it, especially in rap songs, but I don't want to deflect from his message. I agree that some Latinos vote Trump to be closer to whiteness. And you had another person, the True Rev 3 says Black men haven't stopped. You can look at any YouTube podcast that's saying it like they can't come up with anything else. Miss I Have Questions says that's my point. We as Black Americans have to stop it if we want others to stop. They emulate our culture. That's why they say it. Gina Jackson Smith Simons, she said Trump deporting them. She had the hashtag. Miss I Have Questions says you can't deport Puerto Ricans because Puerto Ricans is a U.S. territory. They're American citizens. Let's go ahead and get some more comments up here as well too. Emmanuel Ortez says I don't know how he insulting anyone. He said Daddy Yankee was was hang around who was done for asking some work. That's a New York style. You don't see Southern white men being friendly or black Southern women interracial dating. I have absolutely no idea what the hell this dude is talking about here. Yeah, I'm not even sure he knows what he's talking about. Cornbread Mafioso says descendants of Spanish slave masters shouldn't be talking like this. ADS Warrior posted a picture of Fat Joe when he was young with the he looks like a regular little white kid with red hair. He says, please stop letting the white Latino use nigga like he's entitled to it. Then I think he had a number of people responded on that. Exposure's a must says, as a Puerto Rican man, nigga, please. So you had a Puerto Rican dude sitting up and say, well, you know what? I'm going to ignore you as well, too. Ricky Gullery says, Mr. Sloppy Joe was never an enslaved African in the United States ancestry. He comes from Puerto Rico. He should not be using the N-word ever. This man is cosplaying sloppy mess. Nat Turner's Rifle, FBA says, I can't stand fat hoe, look like he said. So, okay. EJ Kane saying the question is, all these niggas still ain't checking him, but they put that nigga on no-fly zones. You got Malcolm Box says he just wanted an excuse to say it, effing. Okay. Major X says, by using the N-word, Joe did the exact same thing the host said about something weird happening on the right. P.S. At Fat Joe, the house N-word did not want to be white. The correct answer you're looking for is Uncle Tom. Why are you in the media so much? What are you promoting? 510 says, dude, just stop. Millen Magic says, F Fat Joe. That's why he cursed the damn Yankees. E.L. Bundy says, New York is Babylon for black culture. They pick through our crap like Isa Cheap, some buffet or something. Ms. Butterworth, Latinos can't be white now. Kelly says, look who's talking. The house nigga of them all. FBA against Kami says, this white needs some straightening. This won't fly outside of New York. Bon Sway said, who keeps giving this clown a platform? Apparently, a lot of people keep giving him a platform. DJ Professor, y'all got anything with the audio yet? No, DJ's still not up here. So, Professor, what about you? How's the sound now?
Nah, it don't still sound like it ought to be. Still working on that. Okay. It might just be my computer. I'm trying to get in there and change up my settings. So
let me before you, because we could come back to that later on as well too, Professor. But I want to get your while I'm reading these comments, I do want to get your opinion on some of this as well too. With the Fat Joe thing, we've had a couple spaces with Fat Joe, and here's the thing: didn't like what a week ago or 2 weeks ago, Fat Joe just got through hosting the BET Awards for the second, third, fourth time in a row. We know the BET Awards is not owned by black people. We know that BET is a white-owned company, even though they still say black entertainment. But Fat Joe constantly, for whatever reason, the media is constantly put Fat Joe up there. Whenever you see some kind of hip-hop convention, a hip-hop thing, or whatever, Fat Joe is more popular now. And Fat Joe, for one, he's not even putting out music. And Fat Joe is more popular now than he was in the 90s and everything else like that. It's like they almost have some kind of agenda with Fat Joe to constantly pump him out there as well, too. Fat Joe, remember, was the one that started the whole Latino and black created hip-hop 50-50. He could never explain that.
They trying to replace us with that very group, the Latinos, the Hispanics, and I'm talking about in everything, the music, working the different jobs, whether it be trade or corporate or whatever type of industry it is. They trying to replace us in all areas of life in the United States with these people. That's why they letting all of them up in here, and this is why they are trying to remove us out of the music. And trying to hype them up in the music. It's a disgrace, man. They trying to take us out of everything.
The crazy thing is that Fat Joe, now he was talking, now the black host, like I said, he said this remark, the black host didn't say anything. He just sat there. Now he didn't use any kind of derogatory or sellout term that another Latino may name another Latino. Instead, he went with the whole house nigga thing. And then he said he went on and he said that the Latinos basically supporting Trump are wannabe whites. They're trying their closest to get the white and this and that or whatever. Yeah, I don't have an issue with you saying that. My issue is that you decided out of all of the stuff that you was gonna go ahead and once again you was gonna put the house nigga thing in there. Now they bleeped it out of the video. But my thing is this right here. And this is what I told a number of the Latinos and stuff like that, because the Latinos, a number of Latinos, not all of them, but a number of them were in those comments. And if you guys check out that comment, because I put that video clip, it's the first one in the Jumbotron. A number of Latinos are trying to explain and say, you know what? Well, Latinos were slaves in Puerto Rico and the Caribbean, and Latinos went through the exact same thing that black people in this country went through. And I even had this one dude, that Darth Holcomb. I'm gonna see if I could find him, Darth or whatever, because I didn't have to block this Negro. This was a Negro that kept coming up with this nonsense, talk about that Latinos were slaves in America, and he couldn't bring anything factual. So when he started moving the goalposts about in 1492, I'm like, man, get out of here. Get out of here. Those weren't even Latinos. Those were Indians. Latinos are not Indians. Latinos are a mixed race. Latinos 500-600 years ago didn't even exist. So what are we talking about? There's only been one group of people that were slaves in this country. There was only one group of people that went through Jim Crow in this country. So what are we talking about here, dude? But nonetheless, you had a number of, and not surprising, a number of people that identify as Pan-African, a number of people that was from up in New York area, a number of Latinos sitting up here talking about, yo, you know, we all the same people, and Latinos have African blood and this and that or whatever. And I'm like, this is a white. When you tell them like this is a white Latino, they couldn't defend that. They started coming with all of this up. Well, you know, I said, no, this is a white Latino saying that. This is not a black Latino even saying that. This is a white Latino. This is somebody that identifies as white. And not only that, the vast majority of Puerto Ricans and the vast majority of Latinos identify as white as well, too. Look at their paperwork, look at the census, look at any of their medical records and everything else. Now you're getting called out on some anti-blackness, and you sitting up here talking, well, you know, we all black. I'm just as black as you. We all black, and black Americans ain't the only black people in the world. Black people, Americans ain't said we's only black people in the world, but we are the only group in this country that have gone through what we've gone through. But people sitting up here and Professor, they were trying to deflect. They couldn't come up here, and I think I tagged you in one of the actual conversations I had with this one cat. Like I said, this cat, he's one of these Pan-African dudes and stuff like that. And I can kind of see why sometimes people have an issue with the Pan-African thing, because a lot of these guys they're married to either white women, or they're married to Latinos, or they're married to women outside of the race, or their girlfriends, or the kid's mother, or the women that they intimate with, or whatever, are people that aren't black women. And by saying some of the stuff that we say, they feel like you're attacking either the woman they're in love with, or their kids, or a family member, or something like that, or whatever. So a lot of these people that sit up here and just start going ahead and talk about, well, you know, we all the same, and now you're gonna bridge the Americas. Like there is no border, anything. Like all of the Americas are the same. You know, Brazil and America and Peru and all of this, we all the same thing. We all the same people. If you was enslaved in the Western Hemisphere, you're all the same, and this and that. The guy was sitting up here trying to tell me that it was white folks that came up with the colorism thing. When I said, Fat Joe, this is how dangerous this dude was. This is how dangerous he was. When I said, you know, Fat Joe is a white Latino, he told me that it was white people that came up with the colorism thing to separate us and to divide the Tino Indians from the black Americans. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Fat Joe is not an Indian. Fat Joe may have some Indian blood in him and stuff like that, but Fat Joe also has conquistador blood in him. He has a bunch of different things. Yeah, he may be an admixture, but he's a man that declares himself as white. Like I said, if he wants to sit up here and say that the comedian at the actual Trump rally was out of line, I would agree with that. To me, that was stupid that they sat up there and that comedian went up there and he said the kind of stuff he said. But don't sit up here once again. Fat Joe finds a way to go ahead and interject black people into his nonsense. And then the thing, his peers, his rappers, the people where he lived at, the Bronx, wherever the Bronx, Brooklyn, wherever part of New York, whatever borough he comes from, nobody checks him. Nobody checks this dude. Nobody says, hey, man, you out of line or whatever. People sitting up here talking about, one dude told me, well, you know, he's from the Bronx and we all live in the same projects together and we all went through this and that. So, you know, I'm like, that don't mean a damn thing. that don't mean a damn thing. Fat Joe came over here and he moved into black neighborhoods. Latinos moved to black neighborhoods. Black people weren't flooding Latino neighborhoods. They came into black neighborhoods and they adopted black culture and everything else right here. That don't mean anything. And unfortunately, in certain parts of the country, you got, like I said, you got a certain dynamic of black people that sit up here and say, well, you know, these people are oppressed as well too. They like us and this and that or whatever. I had a bunch of Latinos jumping up in comments talking about we can say nigga. We can say nigga. Talk about go over there. The other dude go over there to I dare you to go to Puerto Rico and tell them they can't say nigga. Now he's gonna show pictures of black Puerto Ricans over there, even though Fat Joe's not a black Puerto Rican, and sit up here talking about you can't say nigga. We got a new speaker up here. Is it inflappable? What's your name?
Ineffable. Can you hear me?
Ineffable. Okay, what's ineffable?
Ineffable. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on?
Okay. Yo, thanks for sending the invite out the other day. I'm not black, so I can't comment on all this. And I just wanted to jump in because I paid attention to Fat Joe's trajectory over the past, 10 years or so. And I started to get, and I'm a big fan of like Big Pun, obviously, and all that stuff. But what I started to get weirded out when I saw that Fat Joe was doing MSNBC shows with Bill Kristol. Bill Kristol is the architect of the Project for a New American Century, which is this whole Zionist plan in the Middle East. So why is Fat Joe doing State Department propaganda with this top State Department Zionist? And it was really strange because at the time it was like all anti-Trump stuff. Oh, Trump's so bad, Trump. And it was like, whatever. But now it's like, I really do. It's like maybe he just had, I don't know. It's like maybe there's just this brazen attitude with assets where they feel like they can just talk however, because they know deep down, subconsciously they're protected, if they play ball. So I don't know if that helps or not. I'm sorry.
No, I want to ask you a question. What race are you? Are you black? Are you Hispanic? Are you Latino? Are you Asian?
I'm fully white, brother. I'm from, I don't say white, but my parents are from Scotland, and that's kind of where I'm from. Like that's where I'm from. So I'm just I like to sort of just kind of float around and just pay attention to different niches, I guess, online, and that's all I've noticed, So I don't know if this helps or hinders what you guys are trying to get at here. I just know it's just something that I've noticed, and I realized nobody was talking about it. Like, why is Fat Joe doing these propaganda shows? Bill Kristol is like one of the most evil MFers out there. He is the reason why we're in these forever wars, why all of our tax dollars go to the Middle East, propping up Israel, killing Palestinian children, Yemeni children.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Not to get too far, because I don't want really the Middle East, the Palestine thing. That's kind of a little bit different than what we're speaking about. But did you hear the clip that Fat Joe had when he made the comment about the mentality and the N-word mentality that he felt a lot of Puerto Ricans had for supporting Trump?
I did, yeah, and it really just sounded like, to me, it sounded like some Democrat talking points that they just sort of pass down to people who they think can use that kind of verbiage. You know what I mean? It's like, because these sort of Democrat these Democrat execs or these strategists, they're sort of setting their, they're not black, right? They're not like from the streets, right? They're either white or they're Jewish, most likely, right? So they're sending their word out to their assets, let's say, like Fat Joe. Yeah, just use the house, thing. Because it's like, that's what Bill Maher said, right? Didn't Bill Maher say that to Ice Cube? And then Ice Cube called him on it, right? So they all say it. It's like, if you dare stray from the Democrat Party platform, it's like, oh, you're that. It's like, you just want to be with Master.
Now, do you think, real quick, do you think Fat Joe was, he was in the wrong for saying that?
do I not trust Fat Joe? But I also, I mean, again, I'm not black. I can't speak for y'all, but yeah, it's just, it seems very disrespectful. And it just seems like I could just imagine him saying that and then him getting all these like pats on the back from all these, just, I don't know, just men in suits, basically, because it's like that kind of rhetoric weighs, let's say, younger black people, right? If I'm a young black kid, it's like, and I hear this rapper that I used to like, it's like he says that. Well, I don't want to be that. I want to be cool, I want to be on the good guy's side, right? I don't want to be. I don't know. I don't know if that helps.
All right.
I think it's wrong.
Well, I appreciate you definitely coming up in here, and like I said, because I was sending out a lot of invites. The actual video had gained a lot of traction. So in that video, in the comment section where people commented, I was just going ahead and I was sending reminders for the space. So I appreciate you coming up in here. No issue.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Shout out to my people over there on YouTube as well too. I see AK LaShawn says he has been advanced to do a job for their cause. MD Williams says, do he have any original rap? Dark Kit says, I guess he was asking the cat that was just up here, and Fappable, he was saying, why are you in the space? If you're from Scotland. Abdul says Fat Joe should get punched right in the face. So we're gonna have I know our people over there on YouTube, they're gonna leave a lot of comments tonight as well too. Shout out, I see my girl Trouble down there in the listener section as well too. Shout out Carissa. I definitely want to hear what you guys got to say as well too. That Negro, what's up? Black Pressure, I see you. Definitely come on up here when you get a chance. I know you may be working, or you may be working out or whatever, but you get a chance, come on. DJ, I see that you're back. What's going on? Did you got the video ready or?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you saw my comment on YouTube. Send it to me or whatever.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't see that comment. It's up in the Jumbotron on the right-hand side.
Nah, still. Well, I got it. Go ahead. I got it.
Okay, I can send it to you. No,
I got it. Because I got to use the computer to send it to that. DM it to me. Just DM it to me because I'm on the computer.
All right, let me go ahead and.
I just had to uninstall X and reinstall it from Galaxy Play Store, the Google Play Store version. It's just horrible, man. But go ahead, though.
Okay, yeah, I got you. I'll send it to you. Give me 1 second. I saw. Okay, I see a new speaker up here. Ish too. I see you up here as well too. Ish, if you want to speak, let me know. I definitely.
Peace.
What's going on?
Yeah, man. So I agree with everything you said because I'm a big gamer. I'm 32 years old, and I live down south and I live in New York, and I got a whole spectrum where they say that Puerto Ricans, they part of us, they went through the struggle. And one thing that you said that made a lot of sense, and I mean a lot of sense, and you pointed out to some of these morons that was trying to speak down on you, is Jim Crow was targeted for us. You know what I mean? We never got a 40 acres and a mule. You know what I'm saying? I get they want to try to put some history on us, whatever, but it's like, dude, there was no race of people that went through, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, the dogs, get sick on us, segregation. That wasn't for Latinos, so I agree with you on that. They want to be like, well, we black and brown. And like you said, all these Latinos, man, I seen this firsthand in New York and in Tennessee. They don't claim black people. Some of them hate black people. They told me to my face they don't like black people. So it's like, how are we brothers? And they're like black and brown, black. Every time you see a black business, if you notice that, sometimes it's in these urban neighborhoods, they want to try to reach out to Latinos, and they love Latinos. But when you see a Latino start a business, what happens? They never ever show any respect or love to the black community. Hell, half the time they call us cockroaches. It's called spooks. They don't like black people. They call us niggas behind our back. And they want to look at us like we're just some ignorant pieces of crap when they know that's not the case. Half the time the inventions that they're using, we invented that. You know what I mean? A lot of these mentalities that people they have it in check for, like Fat Joe. I've seen this for years growing up, and I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I always thought Fat Joe was the light-skinned dude. Back in the 90s, I was a little boy, but then I found out he was Puerto Rican. I'm like, hold up. He say nigga more than we do. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's going on? And living down south, bro,
a lot of black people, I noticed this, they want to tell me, they was like, yo, D, they're like, you tripping, bro. I'm like, how am I tripping? They're like, oh, it's just a word. I'm like, bro, just because he's white or just because he's Spanish, you think that's just cool? They're like, yeah, why you tripping, bro? I'm like, dude, I'm not no super conscious ass, black power type dude, but I mean, I know my history. I know what to do and what not to do, but you allow these people to infiltrate our culture and infiltrate certain words and use it against us. They think it's just a mockery. They think it's a joke. And that's one of the main reasons why we don't have respect in this country, because we let so much shit slide. We quick to let
try not to curse. Try not to curse. But go ahead, bro.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, bro.
No, you good. You good. Go ahead.
But no, that's just to wrap this up. It's like, I love black people. I'm black myself. But I just wish we would have more of a backbone when it comes to checking these people. It's like we always want to be, not all of us, but some of the black people I met, they're just like, man, he's part of our struggle. He's always going to be a part of our struggle. And I was like, bro, I don't care if he's Latina or not, bro. He's not part of our struggle. He didn't go what we went through. That's not cool. Yeah, like you said too, brother, I have these brothers that be saying that to me. They're married to a white woman. They're married to a Latina woman. So, of course, they're going to be like, oh, you super pro-black? I'm like, no, I just love black women. I love black people. But I'm just going to keep it real with you. Like, come on, dude. You let him say that, you thinking it's okay for his friends and his friends to say it. And I had to check a couple Spanish people because they looked at me one time, was like, oh, this nigga tripping. I'm like, first of all, bro, I ain't your head. You know what I'm saying? You may call me that. We're going to have a serious problem. And then be like, oh, bye, to get their peoples on me and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, well, my brothers have to back me up on this. But that's all I got to say, bro. I just wanted to say that real quick.
No, I appreciate you coming in. And
I got it up. I got this video up. I don't know if it's going to be loud still.
I was gonna say, Ish, I did send you Ish. I know you said you got the audio thing, so check your DM. I sent you one as well too. Professor, let me check with Ish real quick. I want to see because she said she has an audio system, so we may be able to get it a little bit loud. It's a quick video too, guys. It's only like 2.5 minutes, so it's not that long. I want to just comment on what D said as well too, because I'm in Florida. So I've grown up around a number of Hispanics, whether it be Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, Colombians, whatever. I grew up in South Florida as well too. So I seen them. In South Florida is the actual melting pot of Florida. So I've seen it. I've seen Latinos the same complexion as Fat Joe. I have never met a Latino the same complexion as Fat Joe that was sitting up here talking about that they were black as well too. Whether they got black in their blood or not, you have never heard them identify as being black. Never in a million years. A Puerto Rican that's Fat Joe complexion will tell you at the end all the time that he's a Puerto Rican. The thing was that the people, they agree with what Fat Joe said. They agree with using the N-word. So they tried to come up with all of this other deflection and all these other just things that made absolutely no sense because they say nigga and they didn't have an issue with Fat Joe saying nigga, and they think that he should continue to say nigga because they say nigga. So they sit up here trying to do all this and that or whatever. Don't sit up here trying to give us no history lesson about who went through in this country. Okay, I'm not taking away anything that you went through in your homeland. We know that this entire region of the world was a slave basically plantation. But let's be honest, what you went through in Latin America and what we went through here in North America is different because when you came to North America, when you came to the United States of America, to be more specific, you didn't go through slavery. You didn't go through Jim Crow. The vast majority, 99% of these people miss slavery, miss Jim Crow. So don't sit up here and tell us about what you went through and this and that or whatever and trying to compare the struggles and this because it's nonsense. You didn't go through that here. You may have went through that back at your homeland, but you didn't go through that in America. So don't sit up here and talk about that. We don't have the same cultural background. You don't know what we went through on these plantations, and you sitting up here talking about nigga this and nigga that and all this other stuff. It's just nonsense. So no, we're not supporting that. And the worst thing that happened is with music and stuff like that as well too. You got to the point that these people have been sitting around for hip hop for the last 40 some years and they've contributed some. And now they're sitting up here and they think that they're the actual gatekeepers. And now you got this whole thing that we all in this together. I don't know. Somebody was trying to say something because I heard some feedback. Sound like I heard some feedback. D, I think your mic might be unmuted. So you might have to mute your mic. Ish, how is Ish? Did you get that link I sent you?
Yes, I have it loaded up now.
Okay, can you play that for me real quick?
Yes, I can. Just let me know if the sound's loud enough for you guys.
Okay.
It breaks my heart when I see people talk about.
Is that loud and clear?
Yeah, that's fine.
Lovely. Okay.
It breaks my heart when I see people talk about. And I tell you, if any one of you guys got Puerto Rican friends, when you go over there and you go visit, the first thing they tell you is my island, my island. Yo, you went to my island? You enjoy my? They tell me that. I'm not from Puerto Rico. They be like, my island, you was there. I see the picture, my island. How the hell are they gonna call Puerto Rico an island of garbage? Yes. And when I post on my Instagram, these the guys you're voting for, and I see Puerto Ricans saying, no, we're still for Trump. 2024. That's the house. Yeah. Yeah. You know, that's the guys in the comments. You know what I mean? Change their voice up, try to sound white, try to fill in. Those are the guys, you know, those are guys I've been fighting my whole life. Because they look at me like, you know, what I am. He from the mud. And he don't care because Fat Joe really don't care. I'm good with steak and lobster, but I'm good with 4 chicken wing fried rice. I don't give a You can take mine and I'm still here. I'm good as any Lord. That's how I feel.
You know, about a week ago, Tavis Smiley, the journalist, had a program in which he said, we're getting closer to the election. Something crazy always happens in October. I think how long is it going to be before somebody from that camp uses the N-word? And this was basically the equivalent.
No, this was the, all right, so I'm smart, but maybe not that smart, right? So I try to figure out what would make these people do this in the middle of New York City. I don't know how they ain't get up in Madison Square Garden.
Real.
But I know these people are very diabolical and very smart. And there's no way they had a whole rally of just hate. He's like, oh, I see the black guy over there. He's carving watermelon right now. Like, and they're using Nazi quotes.
Right.
But I'm trying to figure out, like, my Rubik's Cube is like, yo, but what do they think they're getting out of this, right? Like, what's the flip side of what they're doing? Because I don't get it.
Okay, appreciate that, Ish. Now, you guys may have missed it because when he said the house nigga mentality, they bleeped it out, but he did say it. They just with the audio and stuff, you may have missed that part, but he did actually say that as well too. So thank you, Ish. I appreciate you playing that. Chosen 619 had a super chat, says PRs have been acting up on us for a while now. You ain't lying. Ish, while I got you up here, is you just played the video. Is there anything that you would like to add? We haven't had a woman's perspective on this topic yet. Is there anything you'd like to add to the discussion so far?
I have so much to say, and I don't want to be long-winded.
Well, no, go ahead. Go. Ain't nobody's coming up here right now. So the mic is yours. Christian Hammer, I see you down there. I know you come up a lot of times towards the end, but Christian Hammer, also, if you want to speak, ADS Warrior, I see you up here as well too. Yeah, because I know you've been going at it with people in the comments as well too. So by all means, Ish, you got the mic. Take your time. You got it.
So, first of all, for context, Puerto Rico is an unincorporated territory of the United States. It has relatively its own political autonomy to operate as its own political entity, but obviously still as an unincorporated territory of the United States. I've actually had Puerto Ricans explain to me that it doesn't have the economic infrastructure to not be a territory, because I think before the United States, I guess, quote unquote, owned it, it was Spain. and I might be wrong there, so don't quote me. But the point that they were making to me was that it doesn't have the economic infrastructure. So part of the relations of being a territory is economic assistance, infrastructural assistance, and so on and so forth. But it is its own island, and it is disconnected from the United States in terms of American history. We're talking about American history. A point I want to bring up, because this is something that a lot of Pan-Africanists use and people who are apologists for his statements and some of his behaviors, is the quote by Malcolm X about the house and the field slave. And one of the reasons why it's necessary to bring this up is for people to understand the importance of context. When we're having conversations, linguistical context, but just simply historical context as well. I had posted something earlier today about his statements. First of all, he has no ties to chattel slavery in the United States. He has no formal or professional accolades to make statements about the narrative of the house and field, which in the context of what Malcolm was saying, was to foster the understanding that neither the house nor the field slave was superior, but rather equals in systemic oppression, in violence, in terrorism, in genocide and ethnocide of our people. And that we must understand that if we are to abscond from psychological and physical warfare, but more importantly, psychological warfare, which is essentially the context that he was referring to this as. So for him to use this, but to not understand that the history, because history tells us that Black Americans have had over 200 successful rebellions before even the Haitian Revolution of 1804, which essentially resulted in abolition legislation well into the 1700s in the northern states of this country. And that is because of the collaborative efforts of the house and the field slaves during times of rebellion. Right? And different levels of rebellion, not just physical warfare, but also psychological, economic, educational, etc. It tells us that this is something that was a commonality. This was an approach between house and field slaves. There was an understanding that we got to work together, right? To abscond. And so him not knowing that history, because he has nothing to do with that history, when he says the word, I won't say the word because I forget, anyway, when he says this and he compares it to this context of the house and the field slave, not understanding that historically, right, it's so far from what he's saying. And this is where his statement of, I'm smart, but I'm not that smart. Well, you're not that smart because you haven't done the research and understanding the cultural nuance and the violation of holding a platform so large and saying this without having that historical context. This is what adds insult to injury in what he's saying. But also, and I'm going to post some links. I've already compiled them and I'll post them at the top. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to post some links about American slave rebellions in the late 1600s, well into the 1800s, and so on. Abolition in the United States as it correlates to what I'm saying, and the myth of the house slave. These are links, specifically the myth of the house slave, that I think people really need to hone in on. And I say that because it is a myth, right? The context is no different than when we say an Uncle Tom or a Sambo. A lot of people will call people Uncle Toms and not know that Uncle Tom, historically, if you actually read the literature, that Uncle Tom was actually the hero and Sambo was the villain. But because people have been socialized a particular way, the dichotomy doesn't connect to what they actually express because they have no connection to the history and don't have an appreciation for the culture because they're not a part of it. And so they're not relaying the message properly. And he's no different. And the reality, and I'll land here, is that Fat Joe is a racist, right? He's a racist. And he has lived in a community where he's been able to get away with saying these things without correction. But it's a new age and it's a new day, and Black Americans are restoring and reclaiming what is ours and putting up boundaries for people to understand that you cannot just appropriate our history because we are a people and we exist, and we will not allow you to simply just say things, to erase us, to disrespect us without consequence. And I'd like to say one last thing. For those of you who don't know, we started the Black American Cultural Council this year to address violations with Juneteenth and other cultural violations. We have a standing petition which is connected a lot to this because John Leguizamo was just given a 6-part series to talk about Latino history, where he is quite literally appropriating Black American history. And this man has opened up his mouth on national television to tell people that Latinos were among the first to fight for segregation and that they are one of the largest ethnic groups in America, which we know is not true. And so we've launched a campaign and petition, myself, along with the Black American Tribe, and also shout out to Brother Arthur Watkins, who's been doing some incredible things with the American Freedmen Foundation, to launch against PBS and John Leguizamo, and we will be launching one as well for Fat Joe. And I'll leave the links for all of that for folks to sign and share the petition, because we need all hands on deck, and we need people to understand that there will be consequences if you feel that you get to come to this country and benefit from this country, a country that our people built, who are still experiencing a genocide and an ethnocide, and think that you get to talk to and about us crazy. Thank you for letting me speak, and I land.
Thank you, Ish. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming up here and playing that clip, as well as giving some nice commentary as well too. So thank you as always. ADOS, I see you up here. Like I said, I know you were in the comment section. I know you were getting into it with some people as well too. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, brother. Thank you, sir. I gotta get into it, and I gotta get into it because Fat Joe has been pissing me off for quite a long time. I'm so tired of this one-hit wonder, and his elevation. I don't know how he gets to be elevated. Somebody needs to explain this to me because I don't understand what he's done to do it. And like she was saying, that he doesn't understand the concept of the term. I'm from South Florida. I'm from Opelika, so I'm deep South, and dealing with different different Latino groups in Miami. And then sort of how they deal with the Black community. So I'm well versed in that. And if Fat Joe, he misses everything, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. And when he misses the context of what the word is, and I'll just say ninja. We took that term as a term of endearment within our community because we took that word from the ER and added the A to lessen the sting, to lessen the sting of that word being thrown at us. He misses that part. So when we as people come in contact with each other and we tap each other, dignity and pride and dignity and respect, and we say, "What's up, my nigga?" That's a term of endearment, saying, "I see you as a person. I see you as a human. I see you as my person." And these Latinos that continually feel entitled to say it, they miss all of that, and they try to appropriate it, not understanding that. Go get your own word, because there's plenty of derogatory words that you can turn in your community and turn into something else. Why do you want our stuff? Why do you feel entitled to our stuff? Is my question to Fat Joe and other Latinos. And I just want to sort of make sure we understand that what the term is. It was never meant for anybody outside of our community. It's never meant for anybody outside of our ethnic group. And we can have a conversation about how entertainers have sort of just thrown it in the atmosphere, and sort of made it a common term. We can have a discussion about that at another time, but that's not what the term was for. It wasn't for anybody but us, and that's what Fat Joe does understand. And when he's trapped in his little enclave, and he has in up in Northeast, in his bubble. And and we've had to pop that for him because I think he was quite shocked. It's like, no, sir, you don't get to use that term. It's not for you. And he's like, well, these other Negroes let me use it. Well,
and not to cut you off, but that point you made. Now you're in Miami. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County. You and I both know that in South Florida has a large number of New Yorkers that come to move to South Florida. A lot of Latinos and other people as well too. they're used to, and if you've been to school with them, like I've been to school with them, they're used to saying nigga, 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 nigga. And then when you straighten them, it's like, well, hold on. In New York, that was a term of endearment and stuff like that. And we use that. So we have to be honest here too. For the past 30, 40 years, a lot, and that's not all. I know we have some New Yorkers, some of our New York people may be up in the space, but let's be honest. The past 30, 40 years, you've had a lot of black people in New York, in those boroughs, that allowed them to get away with that, because these same ones, you saw them in the comments section talking about, well, we all grew up together and they were a downtrodden group of people and this and that. No. You allowed them to get away with that. And that's why we had the issue that we got now. And Fat Joe sit up here and tell you straight up, I ain't gonna stop saying nigga. And not only that, but nobody in rap, I don't care whether it's the North, it's the South, it's the East, it's the West, nobody, even the people, no matter who it is, nobody's ever checked Fat Joe and say, hey man, you need to go ahead and chill out with that. You need to go ahead, because I guarantee you, if you start putting spick in all kind of songs and wetback and stuff like that and all kind of songs, people gonna get pissed off and get mad and say, hey, you know what, y'all going too far, y'all doing this and doing that or whatever, which is kind of surprising, because you do hear, in rap songs, you'll hear black people use terms for everybody else, but they it's like the Hispanics, Latinos, they off limit. I've heard them say chink. I've heard them have terms for Jewish people. I've heard them have terms for white people, say cracker. But when it comes to Latino, you ain't never. How many rap songs have you ever heard them say, call somebody a wetback or a spick, anything like that? But they'll sit up here, and even Big Pun, who was a legend, and Big Pun will tell you that they it was black people that allowed them to come into the culture. Even they will sit up here. And Big Pun and them, they'll drop nigga this and nigga that as well too, even though he's dead. So they've always had that, the black people up there in New York, we was cool with them and this and that or whatever, and they allowed, we all one group. Like no, because New York ain't, and that's what I told them in those comments. New York don't speak for all of Black America. New York speaks for New York.
For sure. and just in real life, I mean, if we can have a conversation about the Afro Latinos and how we deal with them. But if I ever came across a white Latino even trying to fix their mouth and say that, no, it wasn't going to fly, because you know who you are and you know where your people is from. Don't even try me like that. And so I just wanted to point that out. And Fat Joe is problematic, and we need to stay on his ass. Because that conquistador blood is strong in him. It's powerful. And I guess that's what I wanted to point out. Thank you, sir.
And thank you too. Because like I said, you were holding it down. You was holding it down in the comment sections and stuff like that. I was holding it down too, man. And then it got to the point when, if you sitting up here and I tell you to bring some actual evidence that y'all were enslaved in this country, that y'all went through Jim Crow, and then you start sitting up here talking about, well, you said America, you ain't say the U.S. Man, if you don't get, I just blocked the fool for sitting up here. You know damn well what I was talking about. Now you want to sit up here and move the goalposts because you don't have any evidence. You don't have any historical data. You don't have any laws. You don't have any amendments. You don't have anything to go ahead and sit there. I stop people quick. Whether you're Irish, you're Italian, whether you're Jewish, whether you're white, whatever you are, Latino. When you start sitting up here talking about, we was all slaves in America. No, we were not all slaves in America. That's a damn lie. I've had to straighten black people out as well too. No, there's only been one group in here. Don't sit up here and talk about somebody that might have been in prison in the 1800s or whatever. That person is an individual. There's one group who's only been slaves in the United States of America, and that's it. Don't sit up here. And I told him, I said, also show me, since you said that Latinos went through Jim Crow, show me the Latino codes that are similar to the black codes. Yeah, that's what I thought. And since you can't show me that, and since you're just trying to deflect and you're just trying to play games with me, nigga, get out of my comment section. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just block you, because you're sitting up here, you lying, and you know you don't have anything to go ahead and to prove otherwise. So you're just sitting up here lying, and you're sitting up here caping for this stuff right here because you and yourself and your heart of hearts, you believe, and you cool with Fat Joe saying. Like I say, when a lot of New Yorkers come to Florida and stuff like that, it's a different. They get the shot. Oh Lord. Oh, okay. So y'all ain't cool with saying nigga. Oh, we just can't call y'all nigga. Like, yeah, if we can call you a spick, then yeah, we can call you a nigga. Then oh well, no, that's offensive. Yeah, well, damn right, it's offensive. But y'all call it, yeah, but you ain't us. You're not us. And the fact that you're going to sit up here and these same people that was trying to go ahead and talk about what happened in slavery in Latin America and the Caribbean, and Fat Joe's got he's got a great grandma who had African blood. Man, shut up. Because Fat Joe has never said that he was black. Fat Joe has never identified as black. Fat Joe is always identified. And Fat Joe, I think somebody posted when he got arrested or whatever, on there it said white. Okay, that's what it said. That's what he sees himself as. And ADOSU and Miami too. You've seen Puerto Ricans. I know you said you thought he was light skinned, but I was when I seen Fat Joe, I was in high school in the '90s. So I knew he wasn't just being in South Florida. I knew he wasn't no light skinned dude. We got light skinned people in our family. I know he wasn't light skinned. I knew he was a Latino or Hispanic. I knew that. I was like, no, okay. I know he's Spanish or whatever. Back then we say Spanish. I knew he wasn't that. So I was like, okay, but I've never seen a so-called quote unquote light skinned Latino period, no matter where they're from in Latin America, sit up here and say, you know what? They may say, well, and you'd have to twist their arm. They say that they got some black in them, but you ain't never heard them say, you know what? Somebody look like Jennifer Lopez say, you know what? I'm black. No. We're not going to play these type of games, man. Come on. Like I said, unfortunately, too many people in New York allowed this to slide for too long. And now that's why I said you got this whole thing where they talk about equal this and equal that. You let somebody put that down. It's like having somebody come to your house and stay for a week or something, and then this person sitting up here setting up shop and basically telling you that they done moved in, and now that the place that you own is equally theirs as well too. It's the exact same thing, unfortunately. And he hasn't got checked. He still doesn't get checked. He still don't get. Every time I turn around on one of these black programs, he's still up there. He's still a mouthpiece or whatever. You don't see any of these black people on Telemundo sitting up here when they had the Latin awards, anything. You don't see Afro Latinos hosting these awards and stuff like that, let alone just a regular black American. So to sit up here and put this man and constantly put him up there, and BET's putting him up to this stuff as well too. This man has doubled down, and he has just gotten even worse with the amount of crap that he gives off. And like I said, that black dude that was up there interviewing him sits up there and just lets him say that. He doesn't check him. He doesn't say that because to him that'd be inappropriate. That would be inappropriate for him to say that. We got my boy Pressure up here. Pressure, what's going on with you tonight?
Hey, what's up, Nose?
What's up now?
Hey, what's up, Black fam? So check this out. This subject matter has come up before. We've addressed it. Wasn't Fat Joe, but we've addressed it under a different set of circumstances. But I guess I'll take the opportunity. I don't want to, but I guess I'll pop my lightsaber tonight. If you look and I've been critical of this part of the United States before in your spaces, right? If you like us, like we're from the Southern United States. So I grew up looking at New York. We observed what's the best way to say it? The attitude they had, the attitude they presented to the world, like we looked at New York, it's tough guys, like people that weren't from New York. Like even today, I'll give you a modern day example. I'm really talking about like the 80s hip hop era when I was a kid, and you looked at New York. But if you look at the Lad TV, and he has all the ex New York street guys on, and he interviews them, and they all say the same thing. They all say, "Yo, you know what I mean, son? The niggas from Brooklyn couldn't come here, and then niggas from the Bronx, we robbed them niggas, and the niggas from, Staten Island, Fort Greene, will lay them down, turn their pockets inside, and we're playing with nobody." You know what I mean? So, like I said, we observed them from a distance, and they were almost mythical to people that weren't. And then I'm talking about our mindset as young kids. They had built this reputation like they got their Clint Eastwood, you know what I'm saying? The outlaw Josie Wells. But if you look at that part of the world, you can see a pattern, right? Like you look at Eric Garner, right? New York didn't burn. You look at Akai Gurley, New York didn't burn. You can look at Sean Bell, New York didn't burn. This recent guy, that he got put in a rear naked choke on the subway. I apologize, I can't remember the brother's name. No, the one
was Daniel Penny, was it? No, what was it? Was it Penny?
I think that was the dude
No, that was a dude. What was the dude that yeah, not Daniel. He was the one that did it to him. What's the guy name? It just it's slipping my mind. But go ahead, Pressure.
Yeah, I can't remember the brother's name. But when he died, New York didn't burn. So I'm saying all this to say, like I said, I've heard a lot of the same points where the subject matter has came up before. The onus is put on Black people across the nation. Why isn't the onus put on people from New York? Like I said, they built this mythical reputation. We the toughest dudes in the world, and if you cross the bridge, we'll split your head open and rob you. And I wish a nigga from Fort Greenwood at that. All this stuff you heard over the years, and there's a pattern of inertia that keeps coming out of this place. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Do nothing. Do nothing. Go on about your business. I think we should be more critical of people from that area than putting the onus on all the Black people from all 50 states. Fat Joe lives in New York. And if you just heard his narrative, like, yeah, you know what, if I go, I'm good anywhere. Why nigga ain't slapped him in his mouth when he was out in public? You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, don't put the onus on me. I'm in Houston. Don't put the onus on me to tell them so. Why the niggas in New York don't tell them that? Like I say, once again, they built this mythical reputation, how they was the toughest dudes in the world. You didn't want to go to their little borough if you wasn't from out there, and something bad was going to happen to you if they knew you from somewhere else, and you let some white boy whose ethnicity is Hispanic say whatever he want, and nobody from New York ever checks him. And I'll mute up and listen.
Real talk, like I say, and growing up, you're right. We always had that impression of New York. Like when people say, you always heard, like, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Like they, you know, they were from this concrete jungle, and like you say, it was mythical and everything else like that. Until, like I say, I don't know about Texas until you start actually. And I had a bunch of homeboys that was from New York that came to Florida. I was cool with a bunch of Black dudes, Black Americans, Jamaicans, Caribbean. Some Latinos as well too. I had some Latino homeboys and stuff like that. Of course, you know, once they got to Florida and stuff like that, I mean, they would talk out the side of their mouth, it's soft down here, this and that, or whatever, until like somebody knocked them out or something like that. Then it was like, okay, well, you know, it's a little bit different than what I thought. You know, these boys will put hands on you down here. So yeah, it kind of had that. And like I say, and then Pressure, what you said about nobody up there checking him. And then I'm gonna take it even further than that, because hip hop, we see how big it is. Like nobody at the period, like nobody in the hip hop game period says anything to Fat Joe. Like nobody says, hey, you know what, man, we need to have a side to side. We need to go ahead and knock it off. Like it's like everybody like, whoa, like we can't say nothing to him and this and that, because I don't know what it is. They've given him the pass for all these years.
Hey, and news, once again, you know what's crazy? I didn't heard the rappers who I'm fans of. And people associated with him say, yeah, man, you know, Nas came to Brooklyn, we robbed that nigga. And you hear all these kind of Big Daddy Kane got caught out here, we robbed him, and so we laid him down and took all his jewels and and ain't did Fat Joe nothing.
Let's keep it real, everybody. We know the answers. The answer is Black Americans, Black people in general. I hate to say it. We give a lot of heat to each other, but we ain't giving heat to the people who need to be giving heat to. See, that's what we got to get in our heads. Give heat to the people that are the true enemies, instead of always boasting about how you're going to take a brother down or take down each other. So that's the issue here. And that's an overall situation for the entire race, not just in the rapper game, not just in corporate or anywhere else, just overall for Black Americans, Black people in general. We like to bring heat to each other. We'll do that all damn day. Hell, you hear right here on these spaces. We'll bring that heat to each other, boy, but boy, we sure can't bring heat to the people that we need to be bringing heat to. So that's what the issue is right there, Pressure.
Hey, y'all, make sure y'all retweet the space out as well, too. Make sure y'all retweet the space out. Ish, you had your hand up. Did you want to say something? I see you put it back down. If you want to say something, go ahead. You got it.
No, actually, I'll wait. Thank you, though.
Okay, no problem. DJ, go ahead. I know you got your hand up. DJ, you there? I don't know if DJ is in the space or he's gone, but okay, DJ, I guess we'll come back to you in a second. But yeah, Pressure, what you were saying, and what you're saying as well too, Professor, I agree 100% on and stuff like that. Like I say, in these southern states and stuff like that, and I can't say the Midwest, and I can't say about out west. I can just say, you know, where I'm at. We for the most part now, you do got some black people. You got some black people that will go along with it, allow it, and this and that or whatever. For the most part, though, you know, it's not going on like that. But it is something that, you know, and you know, when we do talk to some of our New York people like that, they kind of get upset and they kind of get mad as well. Well, it ain't all New York and this and that. Nobody said it was all New York, but it is a lot of y'all, man. It's a lot of y'all that actually allow this to actually go on, and y'all could have nipped this in the bud, because when these people first got over here, they wasn't using that. If you look at like the 70s lingo and slang and everything else like that, they weren't going in, they weren't saying this kind of stuff to say what you want to about the baby boomers. I know a lot of people critical of the baby boomers and stuff like that, and rightfully so. But if you look at just some of these black exploitation movies and stuff like that, you have a bunch of Puerto Ricans or Latin people on there talk about nigga this and nigga that, you know, not in no term of endearment. Now, if they've said it was as an insult or whatever, and you know, they were going after each other like that. But now it's like, hey, you know, like we all niggas or something like that. And like what, like when did this actually transfer, and when did this actually happen right here? Like why y'all not saying something to a man about this or whatever? Y'all just sitting up here. This dude, he has a right, like I said before, he has a right to question his Latino brethren. If he felt like that, you know, they're selling out and they're supporting Trump, and you know, they were offended by that, no problem with that whatsoever. But you mean to tell me, because every ethnic group in the country, in the world, I should say, every ethnic group in the world has a derogatory term for their own people being sellouts. Every group on earth has a term for within somebody in their own community, their own group, as being some kind of sellout. You couldn't have found a way to go ahead and say, you know, because he did come back and say these are Latinos that's trying to be white and this and that or whatever. So why not just come out there and say that from the beginning? But the fact that you had to talk about the house nigga mentality is just something that really, you know, really just kind of just irked me to a certain degree. And Fat Joe has me blocked. I think Fat Joe had me blocked for a couple years. And matter of fact, I think he might have had me blocked because we did do a space on him one time before or whatever. But the fact of the matter that people sitting up here, and next year, again, if he's still alive and the world's going the way it is, don't be surprised. I think he's hosted 4 or 5 BET Awards, Black Entertainment. That's something else too, that it might be time to go ahead and have Viacom them go ahead and change that name as well too, because it's only Black Entertainment in terms of what y'all putting out there. The ownership is what made it Black Entertainment as well too. Yeah, you were putting on black people and you were showing black this and that or whatever talent, but it was actually owned by black people. It's no longer owned by black people. It's owned by Viacom, who owns all kind of different things as well too, MTV, VH1, all that other stuff. So it may be time also to go ahead and push that name and say, you know what, y'all need to go ahead and change it, because you know you're not black owned. I mean, you might be Black Entertainment, that you got Tyler Perry, he's got 1,000 shows on here and everything else like that as well, but you're not a black owned business anymore, and you haven't been a black owned business for over 20 some odd years. Like I believe Robert Johnson sold what because he sold BET to go ahead and actually purchase the Charlotte Hornets at the time. So that had to be, Professor, that had to be around what, 2001 that BET's been sold. I believe BET, Robert Johnson sold BET around 01 or something like that, 2001.
Early 2000, he got out of it, and you know, because he wanted to buy that NBA team is what he told everybody. So
yeah, he bought it, and then Michael Jordan came in as a partner with him, and then I think Michael Jordan bought his share out, and he became the sole owner of the at the time they were the Charlotte Hornets. I think they're the Bobcats. I forgot whatever. They switched their name a couple times. I can't remember what team they are, but nonetheless, yeah. So PET's not even black owned anymore. So I don't know why. and it could be time to go ahead too and press them too as well. Like, hey, don't bring Fat Joe back on here, man. Do not bring him back on here. DJ, are you in the space? Because I see you got your hand up, but I'm not sure if you're in the space or not. I may need to drop DJ down because he could be in the matrix.
Nah, I'm here, fam. I'm here. Hold up. All right, so yeah, I had to go do a troll real quick. So shout out to the room. You already know, share the room out. Newstoter, largest black curated news on the web. 30,000 articles pertaining to black life. Make sure y'all come up to newstoter.com. Get a subscription, $1.75 and up a month. Make sure you follow Newstoter also on social, funded socially. Ishmael, aka Third Eye Radio, is also on social.
Also, real quick, hit the Cash App too. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. $Newstoter. Let's see if we can at least get a couple dollars in the night. $1, $2 donation, anything is or works. But go ahead, DJ, not to cut you off.
No, get that money. You know what I mean? And yeah, we the largest black curated news on the web. 30,000 articles, as you say, so you ain't gonna never get bored reading. So with that being said, don't come over here to Jersey, Fat Joe, and say the N-word to me because I don't know you like that. I'll punch you in the mouth, bro. I don't understand how jokers in New York City, and this is what I want us to really understand. Because when y'all say New York, a lot of y'all folks that not around here in the tri-state area, ain't born and raised around here, you have to specifically say New York City. Because when you say New York, you're talking about the state. Let's get right real quick. So shout out to the city, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's only a small section and that's all the way up in the Bronx that Fat Joe is from, you know what I mean? Now, let's go back even before Fat Joe said anything about Latinos created 50% of anything, which that is a lot, and y'all barely contributed. So just be happy that we even allowed y'all into the space. So rest in peace to Fat Mike from the Bronx. And when jokers like Bambaataa was calling our music what we used to call the jam, hip hop and all this other stuff, and saying people like Grandmaster Flash, him, and DJ Kool Herc are like the forefathers, founder fathers. Nah, some of our actual Black American elders that was really down with the black space had an issue with that then. So Fat Mike has passed on. Shout out to the homie DJ Face for keeping the channel alive. You know, it's called Hip Hop since 1971 now. And they had to change the name of the channel since Fat Mike passed away and his daughter didn't want, them using her father's name. So it was what it was on that. So if you go over to the YouTube channel, Hip Hop since 1971, you will see a video over there called 50/50. I spanked my hip hop grandson, and you see it got a picture of Fat Joe over there, whatever the case may be. So, and throughout the whole channel, a lot of the documentation also comes from Tether Rhymes, aka Busta Rhymes. I know this conversation ain't about him, but I gotta tie him in. I don't understand why he even fixed his dirty, greasy, jerk chicken mouth to say America ain't got no culture when us here in the Northeast, bro, knew you was of other black. We knew you was Jamaican or whatever it was. You would call yourself Rasta with the blood clot. You know what I'm saying? We knew that because why? We could hear the accent. And ain't none of our rappers back then or even before leaders of the new school was really ever rapping in no type of Jamaican reggaeton, salsa, calypso. We weren't doing none of that. Why? Because that's not our thing. We don't understand Spanish or Bobby. You know what I'm saying? No comprende. You know what I'm saying? See, habla español. That's most you get. It's some cuss words, bro. And I know I'll say, well, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to respect the elders. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, no one gave him a pass except the homies that's in the Bronx to say N-word. And even though you've been asked, Fat Joe, politely to not come on national television and say the N-word repeatedly when you're being interviewed, BET Awards don't matter. You are an adjacent white, Latino, Hispanic, Rican, whatever it is y'all want to call yourself. You're not Black Bobby. You know what I'm saying? And that's between you and your friends in the Bronx. So just to get back to Fat Mike and them, their whole channel, the Hip Hop since 1971, is dedicated to folks like Fat Joe, Tether Rhymes, and Bambaataa, who are up here lying, saying they are the forefathers, that Latinos created 50%. No, You watch me DJ backspin through the robot. You watch me up, yo, head to the ho, hey. That was black people doing that. Not y'all. Because when y'all was in the park, jamming as well, y'all was playing y'all bongos and doing salsa bachata merengue. Ole, lela, ole, lela, ole, lela. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was calling our music jungle music, yo. So how you created 50%? Now, here go the work code right here. So, right, what they always try to, well, you know, Americans did it. Hold up a minute, fam. Just because there was a handful, if even, not even, you're talking really just one or two individuals. DJ Charlie Chase, you know what I mean? He was rocking with them back in the day. He's one person. Texwell, we've heard some different things about his ethnicity that he might be had FBA in Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? DJ Disco Mario, full-blooded FBA from the South. You know what I'm saying? He's not Puerto Rican. He's just like the ladies. That was it. Hola. You know what I'm saying? So even his children have said, and his family have said, no, he's straight up Black American. He's just like Puerto Rican women. You know what I'm saying? So some folks thought Mario, DJ Disco Mario, the true godfather of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Well, he the prince. James Brown, the godfather. So as a matter of fact, let's get to that. And I'm gonna just move my mic because I don't want to be long with it about this stuff. Our elders, your grandparents or great grandparents, depending on your age, called the godfather of hip hop is James Brown, B. Why were you even arguing about this? You know what I'm saying? And you already know where he's from. Say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. You're right there. You know what I mean?
All right, appreciate that, DJ. Let me give a shout out to the 400 for his contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead and get to Ish.
Hey, let me say one last thing, my bad. And this is the most important thing I meant to say. So, if Fat Joe, if Puerto Rican specifically, right, created 50% of hip hop, then where was the Puerto Ricans at during the civil rights movement? People? Getting your butt whipped, dog sicked on you. Was there any Ricans that anyone can name in history, a freedom fighter, that was rolling across the Edmonds Pettus Bridge to vote? Because we have clear receipts and documentation, sir, that the Hispanic, the Latino, the Rican, the Puerto Rico fight, that's not our fight, the Negro fight. Let them fight their own battle. When we got done fighting for civil rights, here y'all come to scoop up the crumbs, big. This is clear documentation. It ain't no disrespect to anyone that's Rican that I know. I got a bunch of Rican friends that I know. Ain't no disrespect.
Blame black politicians as well too for that.
Say that again.
I say blame the black politicians as well too for all the work that black people put in for the civil rights movement. They allowed all these other groups to go ahead and just leech off of it.
Right. So with that being said, you ain't the originator of hip hop. That's Negroes. Be happy we included you. You know what I'm saying? You could give Cool Herc some credit. He did kind of somewhat of the merry-go-round system, just a little bit. You know what I mean? Not much. Because at the end of the day, we already know he imported himself here. You know what I'm saying? From Jamaica. We was already partying. He adopted to our culture a way of life. It wasn't like it was a bunch of Jamaicans up in the Bronx back in the 60s and the 70s. Come on, B. We know this stuff already. So why is these folks allowed to say and do this stuff? Because in reality, they don't got a choice, yo. Their history is non-existent here in this country. Whatever it is you accumulated and gained as far as any notoriety, it had to come from us, yo. So I'll end here. The phonograph was invented in America. Y'all was toasting to our stuff, man. Stop playing beat. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk. Let me read a couple comments over there off of YouTube as well too. I see that Negro was over there. That Negro said F Fat Joseph basically. Dark Ken said exactly. Told her nobody in New York has ever checked this guy body. He was talking about just them giving him the free pass to say the N word all the time. Say brother says I'm gonna just say this. Screw these other groups. They're all against FBA, the U.S. Indigenous Black Americans. That's why I'm voting for Trump. He's going to deport them all. Cincy FBA Mars said these immigrants love acting like FBA. Safe Brother says it's because they're comfortable using the N word in any context, and that is the problem. This is why I match energy with these folks. I will call them every derogatory word associated with them. Cincy FBA Marv, I guess when I was talking about BET Entertainment, he called it Tether Entertainment. And Safe Brother says if they call us N-word, then call them W-backs match energy, y'all. The Flea Dastity says FBA, our people have been docile across the board pertaining to these groups. Get loud. Black Aboriginal American says Fat Joe needs to use the derogatory terms created specifically for his community, and I agree with that 100%. If y'all, like I say, every group has derogatory terms for their own. Use that. Talk about your people in that group. If you want to go ahead and get on them for voting for Trump, if you feel like, hey, they just sitting up here and they've been company men or whatever, and they need to show a little bit more of this or that, whatever. No issues with that. I wouldn't have had an issue if he said, hey, you know what? The Puerto Ricans supporting the Trump or Uncle Tom's. That would have been fine, even though you still using a term that black people, that's in the black community, whatever. Hey, that's fine. I still be like, I don't know why you can't get your own term to describe traitors or whatever, but fine, okay, cool. And I don't think anybody would have had an issue with that. But the fact that you had to talk about the nigga mentality, that's going to bring a bit of something into it. Ish, go ahead and unmute your mic. You got it.
Hey, Uncle Tom was the good dude, though.
Yeah, I know Uncle Tom. He was a good dude, but in terms of modern, the way he's been perceived now, and just the actual association with the name, we know we know Uncle Tom was the actual hero, and it was Sambo who was a sellout. But in terms of the way things have been created in modern, in the modern realm or whatever, Uncle Tom is something that when you call a black person Uncle Tom, normally, it's derogatory. It's at times you have black people willing to fight for being called Uncle Tom.
Exactly. But see, like now we're in the history, and thank you, Brother DJ, for what you said, because now we're into the history, and we're into the importance of understanding the why there needs to be accurate and authentic depictions of history and what actually has happened in history. I mean, we can start with hip hop, right? Because that's what you started with, Brother DJ, and obviously those 5 pillars that are the 5 pillars of hip hop, those are the those trickle down from a precursor, from genres of music that came before hip hop, which is what made hip hop what it is today. And the reason why it's become so successful is because it became a philosophy, right? And it became a global philosophy. But if you actually look at the history, the same thing happened with jazz. The same thing happened with blues. The same thing happened with ragtime. The same thing happened with funk, with Negro spirituals. Black American folk music is the oldest folk music in this country. And all of that, including hip hop, stems from that. So you can go back to Brother Darryl McCray, you can go back to James Brown, you can go back to the Jubilaires 1930s, the first recorded rap record. You can go back to the phonograph in the 1890s, the very first black record, The Laughing Song by George W. Johnson, okay? Or the first black American woman. Yes. But we can also look at the cultural nuances, right? When we mentioned earlier about, these people not going through Jim Crow, these people not going through Reconstruction, the issue always becomes tangibles, that people feel like they can just say things and that they don't have to provide receipts for the things that they say. But like, we do come into these dialogues with receipts, because knowing who we are has been half the battle. Knowing who we are and keeping record. This is why we have things like slave testimonials. We have things like written records in Bibles. We have, like actual slave narratives in the Library of Congress. We have these things, but also just the cultural nuance. First of all, Puerto Rico did not have black codes or slave codes. Okay, this is really important to understand, because black codes and slave codes restricted our people exponentially in a way that unless that was you weren't in it. You weren't. It went from the hair to what you wore, to what you ate, to which side on the sidewalk you could walk on and at what time, to things like sundown towns and so on and so forth. But you know what else Puerto Rico didn't have? Puerto Rico didn't have something that we had called partis sequitur ventrum. Partis sequitur ventrum is an element of medical apartheid that is specific to Black Americans in this country. When we're talking about the cultural nuance, and even just, we can correlate this to people saying, you know, calling folks, feeling like they can use the N-word when they should not be using it, but all of it's relevant to the history behind that word and the pain and the terrorism behind that word, right? So partis sequitur ventrum, you know, it was perpetual hereditary slavery in a way that allowed people to breed, and they were called seasoning plantations, for the purpose of expanding the labor force, something that Puerto Rico did not have. In fact, they had a piece of legislation called the Laws of Free Wombs, which granted freedom to the children of enslaved mothers, you see. A staunch contrast and essentially the antithesis of what Black Americans were experiencing in this country for centuries, right? And partis sequitur ventrum, by the way, I don't think, from my knowledge, from my research, and anyone can correct me, has never really been amended, right? So there's the other element. That's another element there to add to the experience that's different for our people than other people, specifically Puerto Ricans. But this idea that we have to just take it is crazy when a lot of it is centered on the narrative. And just going back to what you said, and then I'll land, the narrative of people today have been socialized to call folks Uncle Toms and don't even know that Uncle Tom was the hero. And that is a perfect example of the psychological warfare when shit runs rampant and goes crazy and is allowed to. I would say on the other side of this that I know New Yorkers who have told me, and mostly from the older generations, that these people were not outside calling them niggas. That was not happening. Like, it wasn't. And I feel some of this is that because he has a particular status and privilege, he may be fabricating aspects of his perspective while also simultaneously silencing the voices of Black American New Yorkers. Because, you know, maybe in the younger generation, yes, right? Because we see it, and I don't want anyone to feel like that is just not happening. But but in the 60s, in the 70s, and in the 80s, these people were not calling up. These people were not in Harlem. They were not in Brooklyn. They were not in New York City calling our people niggas outside. They was not doing that. Not to their faces. Okay? So, you know, I do think that's another element that we have to address. It's the two parts, to sum it up, the history and how our perspectives keep getting muddied against people who have these large platforms to just say shit that...
Try not to cuss, Ish, but you got it.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Anyway, I got a little passionate for a moment. But yeah, to just say things that are inappropriate and just historically untrue.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely thank you once again, Ish, for giving us that quick rundown as well too. Xander, I see you up here. Do you want to speak? I know you ain't got your hand up, but if you want to speak, you go ahead.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
Because see, like when I seen that quote, I actually commented on your post and posted in the Jumbotron. This shit really rubs me backwards.
Try not to curse, y'all, but go ahead.
Okay, so when it comes to these scripts like that joke, this is the most disrespectful element of white supremacy right here, because here he is. This represents the relationship that all Puerto Ricans have with Black Americans, all of them. This is how all white people feel about Black Americans. Now, he's eating off of a culture that he totally doesn't respect. He has, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to think of when I started having this issue with a bunch of Black folks in New York, because I seen it throughout the years. They was giving a bunch of wetbacks like this permission to go out there and start using terms, derogatory terms that they don't have no connection to whatsoever. Now, he had a problem with his own damn people and their mentality about when it comes to his bullshit, his BS island from Puerto Rico, and the derogatory term he used, he didn't call them border jumpers or beaners. He said house niggers.
So the way I see it is that every Black American, we need to start addressing every Puerto Rican as wetbacks and spics and stuff like that. Because see, otherwise, you're nothing but below a bitch to them. That's what you are. See, they're like, they don't, think about how much disrespect you have to have for a group of people who helped you to eat, for you to come out here. Now, let me see, has he spoken on reparations for us or at all? I would like to know that. Let's see if he's going to stomp hard in the yard for that, or does he think some cheap Puerto Rican should get more restitution from this government than the group of people who basically made a lane for him to eat? Now, I'm mute.
All right. Thank you, Xander. Let me go ahead and get to it. And like I say, guys, for those that can support on Cash App, $Newstoter, we're still trying to get somebody to go ahead and sign up to the actual platform as well. Like DJ said, it's up in the Jumbotron. For those on YouTube, the custom reporter link is on the actual screen, and it's up in the description. For as little as $1.75, you can support the Newstoter.com platform monthly for as little as $1.75. Matter of fact, our next speaker, Quadir, is also a supporter to the platform as well, too, guys. So we're trying to go ahead. We haven't had anybody sign up in a couple months, so we're trying to go ahead and get those subscriptions back up so we can be self-sufficient. That is always the goal, and not to depend on the white dollar. So, guys, we're trying to go ahead and get that we're trying to get that subscription count up. And that Negro, he's also a subscriber as well, too. So we definitely need, for those that can't, that's why we do have the Cash App. So we definitely need that support. Quadir, what's going on with you tonight? How you doing?
Hey, Toad, I'm doing good. What's up to all the homies from DJ?
What's up?
What up? I'm doing good.
Quadir, you're a little bit low. You got a headset on?
Nah, I was a little far from the phone, but I'm up and close now. Can you guys hear me better?
Yeah, we hear you a little bit better.
All right. Yeah, I think one of the issues that we have, right, is that, or where we made our mistake early, was that we did not gatekeep our culture the way that we should have. These people, whether they be anybody that is not of our ethnic group, that uses terms like nigga, house Negro, nigga this, nigga that, and they're not of our ethnic group, they do not see. They see themselves as a group that is better than us. Yo, I'm in this area, the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey. DJ knows. Yo, in high school, these cats that were of Colombian ethnicity, Arab ethnicity, in high school, I went to Clinton High. I thought they were all white. I mean, they were white. They were their white parts of their ethnic group, but I thought they were pure white. And from the amount of racism that they displayed, and most of them were Hispanic. Most of them, the overall majority of them was Hispanic. Me and DJ was talking earlier how I know this one Puerto Rican cat. I got him on Facebook too. I actually knew him since I was small. He's around like my pop's age. I got him on Facebook, and during the 2020 riots, when we were tearing up that Target down, I forgot we were tearing up that Target. This guy posted on Facebook that we got to round all these people up and throw them in jail. All the FBAs that was on my Facebook page was going in on him. And once we all started going in on him, then all of a sudden here comes that I have a Black Abuela story. Once we started getting in his behind. I mean, so yeah, gatekeeping the culture is something that that's where we messed up. But truth be told, it's not just the fault of the Black political sellout class. We gotta keep it a buck. There are a lot of Negroes up here who want that interracial sexual access. We just gotta keep it a buck. You gotta keep it 100 buck.
Hola, Papi, how you doing?
Yeah, it's a lot of this New York, New Jersey area is really weird when it comes to that Pan-Africanism and that constant wanting to mix with other ethnicities on some low vibrational crap, like just wanting to get in the pants of someone just because they're from a different ethnicity. That shit is wild to me. That's hella wild to me. But I'm gonna yield there.
No, I appreciate that, Quadir. We're not gonna keep this space going too much longer. Matter of fact, I might let Xander be the last speaker for the night. Then we're gonna go ahead and close it. We will be back tomorrow night, though. But Xander, go ahead. You got the mic.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Got it.
All right. I'm getting tired of this, like, people doing it for interracial access as an excuse to basically be 2 steps below a bitch for these people. Because here's the problem. They're not.
Got it. Hey, Xander, you gotta watch your language though. But go ahead.
Which word did I say?
Did you just say bitch?
That's considered. I thought it was like F words and stuff like that.
Go ahead, but you got it. Go ahead though.
So here's the thing. Notice how they don't have to. They're not doing that. They're not doing that for interracial sexual access for you. Go up there and call them a border jumper, spit, beaner, and stuff like that, and see if they bob your head to your music.
That's what I said earlier in the space. That and not only that, but in a lot of these rap songs, a lot of these rappers, I've heard them use other terms for other groups. I've heard them use it for Chinese. I've heard them use it for Arabs. I've heard them use it for whites. But it's like one group is kind of off limits. And I mean, they've even said things about Jewish people and stuff like that. But like Latinos, Hispanics, like it's like, oh, well, we can't say nothing about them. We can't call them out their name. And they constantly, every song, whether it's Big Pun, whether it's Fat Joe, whether it was what Terror Squad or whatever, the Terror Squad or whatever, a lot of them got things to say about black people as well. Now, here's a kicker right here. Now, Fat Joe can say the N-word, but Eminem can't. Now, if Eminem says the stuff that Fat Joe would say, black people and other rappers would even say something about it. But it's okay for Fat Joe, and it's okay for Big Pun when he was alive, and it's okay for whoever to go ahead and say it. And I think even what's the other one named to the DJ Khaled? Does he say it as well too? If I'm not mistaken. And I mean, isn't he a Arab? Huh? You say what? That's what I'm saying. But are the other black rappers checking them though? All these quote hard on hard gangster rappers, all that I don't give a damn. I'm unapologetic and I'm this and I'm that or whatever. I'm the toughest in the whole. Are they checking? Are they saying anything? Are they just letting these people go along with it, whatever they want to say? Like I said, if it was Eminem saying it, they say something about it. But they're not saying anything. What's that, Pressure?
He let that shit come out. He let that stuff come out his mouth.
Yeah, but I'm saying with Eminem, when they had like the old rap thing with Eminem, and of course they ain't try to cancel. You had a few people say something about it or whatever. But I'm saying if Eminem, if he said, let's be for real, Eminem don't say it or he didn't say it anywhere like Fat Joe. Is it a record or has Fat Joe ever put out an album where he said nigga 100 times on that album? See, that's the thing that everybody's talking about, and you hear even like with Eminem, like people want to sit up here and tell, I lived in 8 Mile and I hung around black people. I was in Queens and all my friends was black and this and black people go along for this crap right here. They the only group that go along with this stuff and talk about, well, so and so lived next to me and we went to school together and my mama's his godmama and we used to play at the playground together and all this other dumb stuff. All these other groups like, hey, we can live next to each other. We can go to school. We can do all this and that. At the same time, we different. Like, yeah, there's certain rules and certain ways that you're going to interact with us and you're not going to interact with us, except black people. Black people sit up here and they just open the damn door and just let anybody come in. And then if you close the door, they, oh, well, why are you doing that? Why are you hating? Why you been like white people? Why you know better than a white person? I mean, all kind of ridiculous stuff you hear them say and come up with. Professor, go ahead. You got it.
Family, I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. It really just comes down to us, man. We have allowed for these groups to do this stuff. I remember back in the day, you had these black kids around the area, trying to, I guess, be cool with these white kids, allow white kids to say nigger and shit like that. Because some white kids.
Language, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. They would allow white kids, to say the N-word because he was supposed to be cool. You know, he been around black people and all this. Then, you know, same thing with these Latinos. You know, they was around the so-called black people up in New York or whatever, in the Bronx. So black people didn't check. See what I'm saying? We are the ones that allow this. So therefore, we are our own worst enemies. Now, see, we allow groups to come in and want to be all up in our midst. But now, here we are trying to find a way to fight these folks off, right? Well, see, this is the problem. For too long, we have allowed this stuff to go down. So now when you try to fight back or push back on it, these folks will sit there and say, well, why are you trying to gatekeep now? You've been allowing this for all this time. See, that's the fault of black people. That's why I said earlier, we give heat to each other instead of giving heat to the people that have been disrespecting us for years. See, that's what where we've been going wrong at. All these Negroes that's hard up in the streets and talking about they gangster this and gangster that, so you give heat to each other. I would like to see you get gangster with the white people. I like to see you get gangster with the Latinos. I like to see you get gangster with the Asians. See, I want to see you get gangster in that one. See, that's what's gonna impress me. Instead of being, well, I'm gonna go out there and kill a nigga. I'm gonna kill you, goddamn nigga. I'm gonna kill your ass. See, that's what we do to each other, right? We do all that hard talk to each other. And like I said, we do it right here in these spaces. You know, get all hard with each other. I'm gonna get you. That's what we do. But we don't do it to the people we should have been doing it to for years. And that's what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna land right there.
Appreciate that, Professor, as well, too. Like we said before, too, and like Quardid just said, that some of this stuff too got to deal with who these guys sleeping with at nighttime. Some of these guys have kids from these people and married them, and everything else like that, and they don't want their sex to get cut off as well, too. So we got to be real.
I gotta give you a recent example of something that happened last year. It made me sick to my stomach, and I said something about it. Patterson, New Jersey, DJ, you know what B-Town is. Patterson, New Jersey, right? There's always a constant fight of getting the few FBA that's there some resources, like money, all the above, right? Tell me how the few black people, they us, they're not even tethers. The few black people that's on the board to give resources to a small business, to the locals. Tell me how these three dudes posted a picture to give a black business grant to this white Latina lady, and they were stoked about it. I said right on their page, man. I said right on the page, y'all only did this for sexual access. And yo, one of my homies that's in Patterson, who's always putting in work for like the local FBA community. He's always got a new idea. He created a rideshare app where the locals will get paid more than what they would get from Uber. He's made restaurants. He made a restaurant down at Center City Mall in Patterson. He's been putting in mad work to help get our community tangible. His wife is an FBA, his children FBA. He does great work. And he responded. He said to me like, "Yeah, like this stuff is crazy." So that's recent. That happened within like the last year or so. These cats are us. I yield the mic.
Hey, real quick, hold it down for me. I got like a damn piece of hair. Hair in my eye. I'll be right back.
Shout out to the room, man. Yeah, I'm trying to unmute this janky ass microphone. So yeah, shout out to you, Quad Jersey, in the building. So yeah, you know, we was actually having that similar conversation earlier, my brother. So yeah, shout out to P-Town. Don't fight nobody from P-Town because you get your jaw broke. Real talk. No, I'm from North. I ain't even trying to fight no P-Town actor. You know what I'm saying? I'm good, man. You win, man. You win, Quad. I don't want no problems. You know what I mean? So shout out to Jersey. But yeah, a lot of folks wanted that type of access. You know what I mean? But not all the way true and true, because I think at the end of the day, the government, the federal government, this is just my synopsis on it, just honestly relegated us on purpose into one place. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just really what they did to make a place like New York City a social science liberal experiment. See what I'm saying? To see if it's possible to do what they're trying to do now. The Democrats specifically, because you already know the white, true racist, the true American, that's what I call them, the patriot. They don't want none of these Hispanic telecrackers up in here. You know what I mean? They don't want none of these hated knackers up in here. They don't want them up in here. You know what I'm saying? Keep it real. So it's like, well, this ain't nothing new, man. You know what I mean? And like I always said, I'm a little older than you, bro. So we don't have race wars with these folks already. Black Americans versus everybody. Just keep it real. And obviously, I know you went through it. And when I talk to my little cousins nowadays, they going through it. So it's like, these jokers be starting race wars with us. We done did newscasts about this, like over in, Minneapolis or whatever, or Minnesota, one of the spots with Little Mogadishu at. You feel what I'm saying? These Somalians over there nitpicking with our Black American kids, yo. And we beating their ass, and now they want to go get the gun. You feel what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? But that's the game, man. What's up, 400 Steph? I see y'all up here. Y'all want to speak? Go ahead. Or raise your hand, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? But other than that, yeah, delineation can't come fast enough. And it's not that we even got a problem with anyone. Just that, we see that y'all just don't want to patronize and support us. And we'll truly integrate, associate in that sense, man. You know what I'm saying? In that sense, you know what I mean? We don't see y'all come to our soul food restaurants. Y'all don't come to our restaurants like that. We don't come to our clothing stores. You don't buy merch off us in that sense. You don't support us like that. But we support y'all. We go to Puerto Rico, you know what I'm saying? For vacations and such. Spend money on our own. Come on, man. Like, let's be logical about this. And we understand the history of Puerto Rico, too, with the slavery and all that. But you still know black people, you know what I'm saying? Because guess what? The Puerto Rican Fat Joes of the world, they are white people. When have you ever seen a dark-skinned Puerto Rican in America? That's like, other than certain folks that you might have not even known they was Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? That are melanated, dark brown, black, whatever, how you want to look at it as. You wouldn't have known they was that unless they told you that. You all the whole time thought they was black. You know what I mean?
And a lot of them have a tether attitude, a tether mindset. So it doesn't even matter.
Shout out to the Dominicans. Shout out to the Dominicans. Probably no black. You know what I'm saying? Never met a cool Dominicano.
Hey, I'm just letting you know I'm back.
That's what's up. Yeah. I don't know if anyone had got their hand raised or whatever because my space is janky on my side.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take because I got a piece of hair in my eye. I can't find it. God almighty, this thing is a.
Oh my God! Hey, yo.
Yikes.
Just go wash your hands.
Hey.
Run some water over your hand and wipe your eye with it, bro.
I've been trying to that's why I had to go for I tried looking 2 different bathrooms to see the light. If it was, I cannot find it, but damn, it's annoying. I know that.
Nah, go wet your eye. That's it, bro. It'll flush it out. That'll flush your eye.
Hey, DJ Toter, I also want to say something else real quick, right? I want to go on a tangent real quick. I've noticed, in the past several months, people show videos of people from these South Asian countries, displaying a little bit of swag that they got from us. They rapping, doing a little bit of hip hop and all that good stuff. Yo, I kid you not. Those cats be some of the most racist cats behind closed doors. And I know the college I went to, I knew a cat who was from one of those countries. He was going after this white Palestinian chick. There's a whole bunch of different ethnicities and races up over here in this corridor of the U.S. So DJ knows what I'm talking about. This man, he was going after that, but come to find out, I found out that this man had a whole child with this Haitian lady, denied the child and everything, denies the child. His family tells him to stay away from the girl, stay away from the child, doesn't take care of the child, and just acts like the child don't exist. But you know, good thing for the Haitian girl. She got her act together and put that dude on child support. I haven't seen that dude since. But me and him, I had a couple of choice words for him too, because it's kind of weird that everybody feels comfortable talking about FBA freedmen, the Negroes, and then once we start bucking back, they really get offended and sad. It's like, yo, I don't understand it. You had all that smoke like 2 minutes ago, but then when I say something, you act like you I don't. It's like you act like your crap don't stink. I really don't get it. Me and this man was going back and forth for a minute. I really don't get it. So I'll say that to say, right?
What you said his nationality was again?
Oh, he was from Pakistan.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of them act. They'll act hood and everything too. I'm actually real cool with one, honestly, but he's actually cool. But I know it's a lot of them. You know, they'll act. You know, on this area, everybody, the Italians and Jersey. Yo, I'm thinking about everybody will have. They'll act like they'll try to act like us, try to copy us. But yo, they be some of the most racist cats behind closed doors. You know, once you know, just actually listen to them, and once they get amongst their friends, when there's like a nice amount of them, all their racism come out. When there's 1 or 2 of them, they'll be cool. But once it's like a significant amount of them, when they feel real safe, man, they show their behinds.
Yeah, can I say something real quick?
How you?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead real quick. Go ahead, and we're gonna go ahead and get ready to close it out probably after you speak. Stephanie 400. If y'all want to speak, I'll let y'all be the last 2 speakers. If not, then Black Vanguard after you speak. Then we're gonna go ahead and close it out. If Stephanie and 400 don't want to speak, we go ahead.
See, these Afro-Latinos, right? They're Belizean, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Haitian, and all these other Afro-Latino groups over there in their own countries. They don't identify themselves like even dark-skinned Latino, like Puerto Ricans. When me and them come over here to this country, they identify as white, even darker. Once over 70 to 80% of Puerto Ricans, they classify themselves as white on the census. So is that these people are not black though. Like for a long time, when we were saying we black, I probably say I'm not black. Me no black. Me Dominican. Me Puerto Rico. Me Boricua. Me Dominicano. They real quick were saying that now since you should be believing for the last 5 or 6 years they've been saying they black. I said you ain't black. Black is saying this over here in their countries. They don't call themselves black over here in Puerto Rico. They call themselves white. Some of them call themselves Garifunas Italians over here. So these Afro-Latinos, they know but delusional. That's all I got to say.
All right.
I jump in that news though.
Go ahead, 400. How you doing tonight?
Good, fam. How the fam doing? Glad to see y'all, man. Glad to hear from y'all.
Everybody we doing good, man. We gonna let everybody know we gonna be coming with some spaces this week, man. So y'all definitely stay tuned and let everybody know that we will be doing an election night space on Tuesday night as well, too, guys. So make sure y'all tune in.
And one more thing I'm gonna say this though is that they're scared too. Is most likely it could be a second Trump administration. Look like Trump's gonna get back in office on Tuesday or Wednesday. So these other groups, that's why for the last 5 years they've been saying that they black, because for a long time they have their own little enclaves and enclaves away from our community. So they think that if Trump say get back in, he gonna start to put a lot of them up out here, though. So that's why all of a sudden they try to be black, they'll try to blend in, so they won't be protected, though. Because they are scared, though. Most likely Trump is gonna get back in there on Tuesday or Wednesday, though. But I don't see Kamala Harris a chance of winning, though. So if Trump will get back in there, they really gonna be scared and nervous. So that's why you got these terrorists and these Afro-Latinos and Hispanics. That's why a lot of them try to claim they're so-called black.
Vanguard, let me get the 400 because he's waiting. So let me go ahead and get the 400. But appreciate it, bro. Go ahead, 400. You got it.
Yes, Vanguard cooking just like the rest of the family. No, I just want to say it's a double standard because we like to say, like Professor said, we start calling them by different spigs and calling white people, crackers and this. Oh, now we racist. But everybody else could use the N-word, you know what I mean? So I just want to throw that quick little bit in there. This is just a double standard, though. In fact, Joe wrong as fuck for saying, he wrong as hell for
saying the N word. Like I say, we go on them sticks or wetbacks, they gonna cry foul. So yeah, he did that wrong.
Appreciate that 400. Definitely. Like I say, and Professor hit the nail on the head on that one as well too. Because if you did do like we just said, you start calling them that, then people, oh, you're being racist. Like, well, they say nigga. Well, you guys call each other niggas, so we just felt, and it's kind of the same way. Like it's a term of endearment, like brotherhood. We've always considered you guys to be like our long lost brothers. So up in New York, and we got here, and we was living next to you guys and hanging out, going to school and dressing and doing hip hop together. We just pretty much assumed that we were like family, but you guys are taking it to another level. It's vitriol behind what you're saying, and it's not the same thing. Now we were just saying it's a term of endearment, but you guys got hate in your heart. You never used to call us these names like that, and now you just call them like. So it'll be some garbage like that, and you'll have a black caucus, and you'll have black politicians sitting up here. And they'll be talking about having summits and all this other garbage and stuff. They didn't have no summits before, but they'll be talking about having summits and garbage and come to Jesus moments and all this other nonsense and stuff like that. But that is one way you can get them to stop. You start going at them that way, back and forth, and tell them how it's going to be. Yeah, they'll stop it then. They'll straight up stop it. But like I say, a lot of these you can get the actual hip hop artists to do it. You can't. I don't know if you can get this generation of hip hop artists because they're so, everything. They've always been commercialized to a certain degree, but it's really beyond that point that I'm not sure you could get enough of them to actually come out here and actually do something like that. They'll be too worried about losing corporate sponsorship and everything else as well too. So I do one or two guys. I gotta make this announcement. Up in the Jumbotron on the left-hand side, we have a sister, Miss Naomi Whitfield. She's the oldest living person in America. I put her pictures up there in the Jumbotron. She's 114 years old, guys. That's up in the Jumbotron. So if you guys see that post out there, matter of fact, I'm going to retweet it right now. But sister's 114. We just lost the other elder. She was 115. The other black woman, cannot remember her name. About 2 weeks ago, I think she passed away. So now another sister came and took her place, Miss Naomi Whitehead, and she is now the oldest living person in America. And I even heard somebody say the oldest living person in North America. So I don't know how true that is, but she's definitely the oldest person now in America. So shout out to Miss Naomi Whitehead as well, too. 114 years old. Just want to go ahead and throw that out there as well, too. Stephanie, did you want to say something before we close it out? And I know you're up here.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
It's laundry day, so I've been running around with the clothes, but I've been listening to what everybody's been saying. And there's a few things I want to address. Okay? There are people, I'm sorry, I'm peeing some sour patches. I'm being greedy. I'm sorry. Yeah, we did let things go a little too far. But it takes me back to the 70s and the early 80s when these people wasn't showing the disrespect that they're showing now. Because years ago, to get into the rap game and MCing, it was very, very hard to get into. And you had to show a lot of respect to the culture and to the people in order for you to be down. Okay? You had to know somebody that knew somebody in order to get in. And you had to be very respectful when you got in the game. Now, of course, years go by, people die off, people go to jail, things happen, people marry, a lot of things. And then we get to the Fat Joe, because this fat sloppy behind Rocky also. So, yeah, I've been given some heat. I don't like it. Only the real people that's here know what's going on. There are a lot of people that truly do not know what's happening here, and they live here, born and raised here, and everything, because I spoke to several people about this situation. and they were very clueless about what was happening, especially when I spoke to them about what Busta Rhymes said about Black Americans and about hip hop. I spoke to several people about what Fat Joe said, and they were totally shocked. They were not aware. And when I say not aware, the smiles on their faces instantaneously disappeared, and that more serious aggressiveness look came into play. So this is what I'm saying is, people just got too comfortable in the house that we built that we never checked. And there's a lot of things on Fat Joe that I can't really say on this app. That I know that DJ knows, and a couple other people that's in that area knows, because guess what? The streets talk. You know what I'm saying? Don't think he's running around and he's saying this and saying that. He built up a little fort around him, so of course he can't be touched. But my thing is, we need to start targeting these people that are paying for their advertisement. Just like Ish said, we need to start boycotting BET. I have not watched BET in years. I have stopped supporting them years ago when the original owner went bankrupt mysteriously. Okay, nobody talks about that. He mysteriously went bankrupt because he did not want to sell BET years ago. He wasn't interested in selling BET. Now all of a sudden he's in the red. He has no other choice but to sell. So that tells you that it took some powerful hands for him to let go of his organization, his business. Nobody wants to see a powerful Black man or a powerful Black woman in business. Okay? I don't understand why there should be thousands upon thousands of letters written to BET in response to the statement of Fat Joe. I don't even know why nobody in the audience, I don't know why the guy on the stage, just like he said, I don't know why he didn't say anything. This is why I'm glad Ish is speaking out about it. Arthur Watkins and Arthur Ward. There's another author. So, I mean, my hands is, I mean, I don't even know what else to say, because I can't really say anything because we did drop the ball. I have to admit that. But yes, he should have been checked for that. But, like I said, I know there's a history behind Jude because he violated and did something stupid, on some bully stuff. And he was about to get a response for that, and I'm just going to keep that as it is. But thank you for letting me speak.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. On that note, guys, we're going to go ahead and end this space for the night. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight for this Sunday night space. We will be back tomorrow night, guys. So check us out, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be back. We're going to have some good spaces this week. And I hope to get all you guys back in the space. Make sure you guys share it as well, too. So we'll see you guys then. Peace. Have a good night.
Peace. I'm on social. We going live and 5.